Thanking.
Hi, Eric. A couple, if I may. Just finishing off the political issues, you may be aware there's a bit of a row brewing in that FIFA have said they want teams to wear general armbands, and England and the FA are still very much committed to the rainbow armband on Monday. You were talking about how it's important to stick to your principles. How in particular important do you feel it's to stick to that solidarity with the LGBTQ plus community?
Yeah, I didn't know about that, about the row about the armbands. I don't know. Yeah, so I didn't know about that. As far as I'm aware, at this point, Harry's still wearing it, and I haven't heard about any of the other European countries that I think are going to wear it. I don't know if they've said they've changed their mind, but as far as I know, everyone's still wearing it. This comes out at 10 p.m. I don't know if things have changed before then, but yeah, as far as I'm aware, Harry's still wearing it. I think that's the plan. So yeah, it's as I said, that's just part of our beliefs and our principles, and yeah.
Just on Harry, you probably know him as well as anybody in the squad. What do you make of the way that he handles not only the expectation there is on him to deliver goals and whatever else, but also to be the kind of front man for these kind of issues now? And how much do you think the fact that although he's not captain at Spurs, he's had a lot of that on him at club level, how much does that help him to cope with what the job of England captain demands?
Yeah, well, I think he's very experienced now. I've played pretty much all my career with him, and I think I'd say one of the great things about him is that he hasn't really changed. He's still the same, and I mean that in the nicest possible way. He's extremely hardworking, extremely humble. I think himself, he holds great values just in himself. So I think being England captain, he's been England captain a while now. He has great experience in the role. Obviously, with the last couple of years have probably been the toughest for him, obviously leading up to this tournament in that sense. But I think he handles it extremely well. And yeah, in terms of his performance, I think his consistency is incredible. I think the goals speak for themselves, and yeah, I think that's down to him as a professional and the way that he works, and obviously seeing it up close. He's just extremely consistent in his behaviour in general, and I think that's what leads to his consistency on the pitch.
Hello, Eric.
Hi.
I know we've played this tune a long time about FIFA. I am quite curious just to know, football seems, what goes on the pitch and the politics do seem very separate, and I'm interested if there is any discussion, because today is a big day for FIFA with this speech, among the players. And secondly, from a personal point of view, it's kind of the family business a little bit, football politics. I know your grandfather passed away before you were born.
Yeah.
But it then makes me think, well, why do we not have players in charge of football? And maybe would Eric fancy that when he stops playing?
I don't know. I'm 28. I'm still young. I got a long time to play first. Yeah.
Are you ruling yourself out the running, or are you?
No. I'm very interested in. I have this conversation a lot with friends of mine within football about like the future, and yeah, friends of mine that are still playing. We talk about it a lot, and I would definitely be interested in. I'm definitely interested in staying in football. It's my passion. But I think there are loads of interesting fields in football to be involved in. And I don't know which one yet, but I would definitely be interested in one of the many types of roles that there are in football. But I forgot completely your other question, dude.
It was a more general question about the politics, but I sense from what you say there that actually maybe you are interested in it, and your grandfather had some huge achievements when he was at the FA, and as you get older, maybe you look at that family influence and think, no, that's something that I could do.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really into politics too much, I don't know if I'm got the right thing for it, but for me, it's really important that football's in the right hands, you know, and that it's taken care of and cherished and looked after in the right way, because it means so much to so many people. You know, it's the biggest sport in the world. It's the one that everyone loves the most. So for me, yeah, it's extremely important. But I don't know if I'm the right hands or not. But it's just, this is like crazy talk, really. I'm 28. I have no idea what the future holds. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, you know. Yeah, it is extremely important that we take care of football in the right way. Well, that's essential.
Eric, I think we all appreciate it's putting you in an invidious position to talk about some of these, put you in the middle of this conversation or to criticise things that may be going on. But I thought one other way of looking at it, you've mentioned a couple of times, your principles and beliefs, I think maybe of the squad in general, but your own, you mentioned your values and the way you were brought up. I just wondered what you're talking about there, what your values, what your personal values are.
I do things, I don't need to talk about them. I don't really want to make them public, you know, but I do things that I think are right, you know, and I try and help people in the right way, myself and my family, and I have, you know, as I said, I think my values are those that are given to me by my parents, you know, and I'm not a religious person, but for me, the values that were given to me by my parents, and I think my youth at Sporting Lisbon, that's my religion to me, and that's what I follow, you know, and I try to follow that every day, you know. In everything I do, I try to think if my mum would be happy with me or not. And I think that's what it is, you know. You'd have to ask me like a specific topic for me to say, yeah, I think this or that, but in general, that's the way I try to live my life, yeah.
Hi, Eric. The manager came in for some criticism after the Nation League fixtures, but this is his third tournament. Got the country to a semi-final and a final.
Yeah.
As somebody who was there in 2016 and saw the desolation of that,
yeah.
Can you talk about what Gareth has brought to the England team and how he's rebuilt the team after the low of that 2016 tournament?
Yeah, well, firstly, I think it's just, you know, it's crazy talk, you know, because what he's done the last two tournaments, you know, it's like I think people lose their perception changes so quickly. I mean, you got to remember what England were doing before, you know, and he's taken England to a semi-final of a World Cup, final of the Euros, and at that point we're talking about small margins, you know, that have changed the outcome of those results. So yeah, it's unfortunately it's just the world we live in. But for him to come under criticism, you know, is crazy after a small run of results, considering how England have performed at the last World Cup, and he's obviously last World Cup, last Euros. And he's obviously at the forefront of that. So, for me, that kind of conversation is crazy. And, you know, people would have talked to me about if I was upset that I didn't go to the Euros, and I say it was obviously the right decision. And they got to the final, you know. So, I think you got to keep things in perspective. And I know it's difficult nowadays because everything is like now, but you need to remember, as I said, as you pointed out, where we were at Euro 2016 and before that to where we are now. Yeah.
Okay, we'll take three more before we get Eric to training. Jacob, Tom, and then we'll finish with Pierre.
Hi, Eric. As someone who plays in a back three at Tottenham, you've had success with that. England have had a lot of success using it as well. Do you find it odd at all that there's suggestions that the way that Gareth uses it is too defensive? Is there too much noise around that system?
Yeah, I think so. I think football can be won in so many different ways. Teams win tournaments and at club level, international level, playing all sorts of different systems: back five, back four, back three, all sorts of different ones, and you can win. It's a never-ending debate, and it will be. You can win in many different ways and many different styles, and at the end of the day, the most important thing is to win. You can do that in so many different ways, and there's no right or wrong. In terms of the style, no one's going to remember. No one remembers the way France played at the last World Cup, or Portugal played at the Euros, or Italy played at the Euros. No one talks about that. They just talked about who won it. So I think it's important to remember that. Yeah.
Hi, Eric. I remember an interview you did not so long ago where you were explaining the Brexit tweet you did, and you were away on a Tottenham away trip, I think, in Europe, and had a lot of time in your room, and then put it out. And what made me think of it was the way you were just talking about looking at the situations with the stadiums here and that kind of thing, and it sounded like you'd sort of educated yourself a little bit on the situation. And I just wondered if you could sort of explain that whether you felt sort of compelled to read up on these things and just explain the process of what you did, please.
Yeah, I tried to read the news, I tried to stay informed. For me it's extremely important. For myself, I don't think I have that far of reach, or maybe, but for us, I think it's extremely important for me. If I'm going to talk about any topic, if I want to talk about it, it's extremely important to be very educated on it. It's something that annoys me a lot if someone talks about a subject publicly where they have influence on others and they're not educated on the subject. That's something that I really don't like. So if I'm going to talk about something, I better be well educated on it,
So at what stage did you feel I need to look into these stadiums and what's happening over here?
No, because I'm here, So I read about things, and I'm here, and I'm going to be asked questions by you. So it's obviously it's important for us to be educated on it. That doesn't mean that we have to speak on it. I don't think that any footballer should have to speak on the topic if they don't want to, and I don't think they should be made to feel bad if they don't want to talk about these subjects. Because I feel like if I sit up here and say I don't want to talk about it, I'll be criticised for it as well. But I think that's wrong.
I'm Pierre from French newspaper L'Équipe. I just react to what you said concerning the armband, because actually Hugo Lloris says that maybe he will not wear it because he's not sure about it, but he say it's important to respect the values of Qatar. And he said, I'm not sure to wear it actually. So I was wondering, do you respect his point of view? What do you think of his point of view? And did you speak with him about this specific topic at Spurs?
No, I didn't speak to him about it. But I completely respect what he wants to do, and I think that's important. I respect everyone's point of view, and I'm very open to listen to anyone's point of view and what they believe is right and wrong. I know Hugo very well. I played with him all my time at Spurs. And I have great respect for him. So I completely respect whatever it is that he would like to do, or his thoughts on it. I have complete respect. Yeah.
Okay, everybody. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you.